Hey, 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 welcome back. Welcome back to the Scorpio channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to my channel, I'm going to do a general message for Scorpio. Know that energy is fluid. Roles could be reversed. Just interpret the message as it best resonates with you. Also know on this channel and all my channels, I like to dive deep within the reading. So I look at everything, but we take time to look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, to see how they play out as karmic themes, help you understand why everything's playing out the way that it is, why you're attracting that person into your life, and what can you do to shapeshift the energy. See, when we see things from a spiritual perspective, we're able to actually do that. We don't get caught up in the triggers, right? The emotions, which is what happens most of the time when you're connected to a karmic, right? All right. Anything of any importance or relevance to the channel, it'll be in the description box. Don't forget to check out my Otter Spirit bracelets. You guys get 35% off of Otter Spirit. And you can pick any combination you want. What I mixed and matched today. I don't really make sense today. I wanted to wear pyrite, citrine, watermelon, chalcite, and this is a rose quartz jasper. So I mean, it kind of I love this one because it looks like the cherry blossom trees, right? Exactly what it reminds me of, but it is not. And so you can go again to the website and you'll see all different types of, zodiac, combinations, or if you want abundance, or if you want clarity, whatever it is that you want, you can mix and match. You guys again get 35% off. That's a big deal. Give the gift of healing this holiday season. Also, check out my other merchandise. I have a few books, I have an oracle system. Like I said, really easy to do your Christmas shopping right here on the channel. All right, let's see what the underlining energy is. Let's see what is influencing impatient. Hold on. Now, I feel like you're the person that's influencing. Let's see. Clear karmic programs of intolerance. So again, I felt like you're the person that's influencing the energy, and that what's overriding it is that you're becoming very impatient with how long everything's taking. Like it's like you want to see changes in your life. And so whether that's you've been putting a lot of energy towards like creating some sort of financial stability, and that's taking a long time. And this connection relationship to like forget it. It's like if anything is going backwards, it's not even going, that everything is taking like a really long time, and you're like getting aggravated out of it. You're like, and the reason why is because it's the way that you're seeing your situation. So again, what's needing is the clearing karmic programs of intolerance, and the intolerance would be like how you're perceiving yourself. It's how you're perceiving your situation. That understand when we look at things from a spiritual perspective, we can actually override, that, well, I'm getting really impatient. Understand that it's always things happen in divine time. And I'm telling you that, but we're going to see within the cards, that's not psychic, but it's the underlining energy is you. The focus is on you creating, you waiting for something, you waiting patiently and also a long time. So let's see how that's influencing the person that you're connected to, because clearly if all your energy is going there, it's like, well, what's holding you back? Let's see what this person, let's look at their hidden truths first. Try and mix it up a little bit. They wonder whether you're happy without them or not. So you've been in separation from this person for a while, and I feel like that they thought that you were gonna like come back, or that when it was the end, it really wasn't the end. I feel like this person's very childish, and so they didn't fix the connection. They did actually thought that they weren't going to have feelings one way or the other, and what they see is that they can't stop thinking about you now. And so that's again, now I'm feeling like again, part of you wants to have your money and wants to have your success and your stability before this person comes back. And I feel like it's because there's a very strong connection that you have with this person, but there's a part of you that you again doesn't like them as a person, doesn't want to be with them. You love this person, but you don't want to be with them and understand this person can feel you even though again you're apart because that spiritual connection is still very much there. And so that's what you know too. You're like that connection is there, and though I don't like anything about you, I don't like you know, I don't want to say nothing about them, but there's things that you don't like about them that you can't overlook, and but you don't really feel strong enough within in yourself, and everything is seeming to take so long that you can't help but to think about this person because nothing else is going on in your life is part of that energy. This person, like again, sometimes they stay awake thinking about you, you know, and that, they hid behind material things. And so there's a part of this person that they don't really believe that you were ever like that you ever really had strong feelings for them, that it was ever really real. And I feel like that's because this person isn't strong within themselves, right? If they hide behind the material things, it's the material things that become more important. They don't form those emotional connections. And this person knows that they normally don't give anything, and they're like, well, I never really thought that you really liked me because you aren't chasing them. And the people that they wind up getting are people that chase them. And they're like, well, they always saw you for your worth. So they assume that you didn't know you for your worth. And they feel like, well, I think that I was just a distraction from your pain. So either you broke up with somebody or you were just not in a good place when you met this person. So you weren't really seeing your own worth. This person always saw your worth. They didn't treat you as such, however. And that's because, again, in order to be real, they'd have to, be intimate. They'd have to be transparent, and they hide behind material things. So, they say just being near you is intoxicating because again there was a very strong spiritual lesson for this person. You represent that. And so what was the spiritual lesson? That what they see is so many things still remind them of you, so that you still have a connection, that they have a spiritual connection with you. There's someone that normally doesn't form the emotional connection, here for a good time, not a long time. Someone that is very logical and analytical, and they'll talk themselves out of being in a relationship. So that's the thing. It's like they didn't really feel as if they could even have that type of relationship when they met you. And the truth is that they couldn't let you get close to them because they hide behind material things. They don't like who they are 100%. So here it is that this connection comes in to their life that they have never experienced anything like it. But they didn't know, like they didn't really know how to let you in, and they of course would not really know how to let you in because they hid behind material things, because they hid who they really are from you. They wanted you to perceive that they were someone that they weren't. They would have had to be transparent. They would have had to be. So this is what's going on, like you said, what this person did to sabotage the connection, and actually how they feel about you. It's like how they feel about you is that, they don't react when people mention you, and they know that they cross the line with you. So there's a part of this person that is like, I feel like they think, well, I portrayed you already, and they portrayed you before realizing who you were, meaning realizing who you were to them from a spiritual connection. Like they didn't think that they would ever care. Number one. Number two, the spiritual significance that they, you know, do actually care, and they're having to look at what they did. So that means, again, in order for them to actually fix this connection, they would have to be vulnerable, they'd have to be transparent, they'd have to do everything that they've never done before. Like I said, this person hides behind their money, they hide behind, their stuff, and not having that deep type of connection. Again, it never bothered them before. So the thing is, this person did lose themselves for a while, and that's because I feel like this connection brought back a lot of deep, feelings that were buried. You trigger this person, but they do have feelings. It's again, they try not to think about you, but you speak to them through music. They can't shut it off. They want to tell you how they feel, and how they feel is that they love you and that they regret lying to you. Um, but their life is not as together as it seems. Like, again, this person is like, are you not even going to like me when you know who I am? They've lived a lie for so long. It's like, how can I let you in? See, that lie protected them for so long and kept people out, but they never cared. They never had a connection like this, and they want to feel that way again, because that's something that, again, a spiritual connection like this makes you feel alive. It makes you feel really good. It's, again, makes them, again, want you, right? Because of course there's that passion, there's the attraction, there's the you feel like home, you know. They put a lot of time into trying to figure out this connection. Even if they did not show you that, they're starting to understand this connection, and they hope that you can forgive them. And that's really what it is. It's like they didn't mean what they said, but you got too close to them, and that's really, they left you before you could leave them. Because, hey, once you get in here and you actually see who I am, you're not going to like me. Because I'm not really the person that I present myself to be. So now they're in their own hell, which is um, in the illusion and the facade of what I want you to believe, but that's not really who this person is. It's like they're not their mask, they're not the illusions, they're not their stuff, they're not, again, they're wherever they choose to put their time. So they have such fear that you're gonna judge them, and that, hey, once I let you in, you're gonna leave me. So obviously, you can see the person can never really be in a relationship, but what it is that they're actually seeking wisdom right now through prayer, through trying to figure it out, and that's the issue. But when you were dealing with them a long time ago, this person's energy was like on a very low energy, again, like here for a good time, not a long time, like I said, very shallow. This person also, they would party a little bit too much. And it's just because, again, not having the emotional connection and being void of that, yes, we can live that way and think that it doesn't affect us, but there's, everyone has a want and a need to connect. I mean, love is the energy that we originally are. We all crave it. Why does everybody want to do? Why does this person even care about what other people think about them, to the point that they hide behind their material things? Because they don't believe that anyone would love them, because they don't love themselves. So everyone does everything for love, when meanwhile we are the energy of love. If we would just become ourselves, we would attract people and situations and experiences that are going to be more in alignment with our true, authentic energy, which is love. It's birds of a feather flock together. That's where that comes from. Where this person won't allow their unique unfoldment process to even happen. And that's because at some time when they were younger, they were judged for it, and so this person mainly lives from their addictions, and that means that their intentions are never really going to be pure, the relationship's always going to be turbulent because this person is living from the emotional um, level. So they never create strong roots with anyone because they never fix the problems, and that's the thing. So what happens is the boundaries, too many barriers, that's what this person did. They created too many barriers in each and every single relationship that they've been in. They've never healed because you don't get good results from that. It's just more from a survival perspective. And so this person just wears the mask and creates illusions. They never thought that they were going to have feelings like this. They never experienced anything like it before. Again, it's like again, this person was living more from their lower energies. So it's like again that they have to do what they're mostly fearful of in order to like save this relationship is what you see here, and that's the thing. At the time, they have to, guard their heart so that they don't get hurt again. And that's the problem. It's like you want to know where they are, that's where they are. It's like I want you, but I'm too afraid that I would get hurt again. So the thing is, I'm not safe being authentic. See, when we are authentic, we're also able to tap into our intuition, our higher self, because we're in the present moment. If we're creating illusions, we're not really in the present moment. We're in the future. It's like we're creating it because we want you to think a certain thing. We're not in our body anymore. When you're authentic, you're in the present moment. You're in the now. This person, like I said, is taking out on you the past from their past relationships, and they also never heal from them. So they're just not not spiritually healthy, and that's the thing. It's like this does this person want to get back together? Yeah, but they're afraid. And so someday they realize they're sabotaging the connection and they're saying, someday I'll realize you're the one that got away because I know who you are. But I can't let you in that close because of a past relationship. It's like because I really have feelings for you. Like it never really had feelings for you anymore. So instead of this person embracing that and wanting to be vulnerable by being transparent, what it is doing is it's triggering this person, and you can't do anything with that. It's like this person saying like you have to pay for my failed relationship, previous relationship. And you don't. It's like that's a choice if you were to do that. And understand this person usually gets people to do that. That's why they normally don't care when the person doesn't isn't able to stay in their life. The person not again, they're able to stay in the life. This person comes in for a good time, not a long time. They're very shallow. So, they get people, they trick people. They're able to strategize. They normally don't care. It's like they care. So again, why did they do that? Well, they rather come across like an ass than actually vulnerable. It's like almost like I don't care. Where, like you said, you can't, you'd be paying for what somebody else did for the rest of your life. So it's not even like, does a person want to get back together? It would look like it was on, off, on, off, on, off, and until the person actually does what they need to do for themselves. And so, you know, we see why did you attract this person into your life? Unworthy, that tells us everything right there. Also, imagination and isolation, because again, if you were made to feel unworthy, where that means that you were pretty much neglected, and it was neglected to the point that anytime that you needed anything, like, you had to figure it out on your own. And that means heal on your own, do everything on your own. Feeling like alone is that. And so where does a child go when, they're being ignored, when they're being neglected, when they feel like they're unworthy, not good enough because the parent isn't giving them time, nurturing, love. They go inside their minds into the open space because that's all that there is. is it's an empty canvas, right? So the child that survives thrives because, hey, the trauma is bad. Because children need to be held, they need to be nurtured, they need to be loved, they need to be accepted, they need to be encouraged. That parent didn't do that. They made them feel unworthy. And if a parent makes a child feel unworthy, it's like having a parent that's a bully, where the child then it feels not safe to be vulnerable. Let me go in isolation to heal because again, I'm being neglected. But understand then the child isn't really disciplining themselves. They tend to focus more on their emotional, well-being because no one else is doing that for the child. So the child becomes a little bit needy because, the sense of I'm not loved, I don't feel safe, I don't feel, but that's the narrative that that child's living in. So when we discipline ourselves in becoming ourselves, it means that, hey, you have a dream. Let's just say you want to become a mechanic. It's like, hey, there's a process to learning how to fix cars. You just can't like go in and fix a car. It's like, well, you want to be a hairdresser. It's that you have to go to school. You have to learn how to do it. It's like you can intuit it a little bit, but not really. It's not really going to be that accurate. Like when it comes to cutting hair, like there's systems. It's the same thing with anything that we learn. So when we grow up without that emotional support, without that love, without that nurturing, the child focuses more on their emotional support, getting it, and possibly getting it obviously getting it through outside things, because they're not being taught how to cultivate it within inside of themselves. So they look for that answer outside of themselves, and they never find it, by the way, because when we look outside of ourselves for the happiness, it takes us further away from ourself. Happiness comes from disciplining yourself in becoming yourself, and that's to be able to stay present and grounded, and that takes confidence in yourself. And obviously, if you were neglected and feeling unworthy, you didn't have a good self-esteem, which is again why you attracted this person who doesn't have a good self-esteem. That's why they're too busy trying to create the illusion, the facades, and won't be with you because they don't want to get hurt again. See, it's relationships, which is a second chakra, right? Represents all about that. When we're talking spiritual wise, that the second chakra is the birthing center, it's the passion center, it's the relationship center, and it's also our creative center. So that's the thing, to discipline yourself in becoming yourself makes one not needy, because again the path unfolds while you're on it. The universe brings you people, situations, experiences that make you busy, because it takes a lot of time and energy to become oneself, which is, by the way, like your energy is the underlining energy, which is, I don't feel worthy. So you didn't choose to be with a person that was karmic, which, by the way, if you would have been with this person, it definitely would have been karmic, because they can't give anything because, again, of past experience. And they wouldn't have had a problem with you paying the consequences. It was the fact that you walked away. So that second chakra is also in becoming oneself, that it takes time and it's within the unfoldment process. So your impatience for it, a lot of times that could have triggered you to settle for less to actually be with this person, but you chose not to. So things are playing out and according to spiritual wise how they need to, for you to, number one, go through the situation to get initiated per se into being able to evolve into the next, chapter of your life, to evolve into a higher state of consciousness, which is going to be abundant, which is then going to bring your success into your life. But you had to go through this experience first and use that space to create yourself and to do for yourself, because you grew up unworthy. You grew up also very similar to how this person feels about themselves, looking for the answer outside. but you learn that lesson, but there's still things that need to be uncovered, such as realizing that each small step brings you closer to overcoming your fears. Be patient with yourself, meaning be patient while you're on this unfoldment process, that, delays are not denials. And a lot of times when big things are going to happen, it takes a lot more time. The Spirit's saying that it's like right now, all Spirit really cares about is that you love yourself, become the magnet of who and what you want to come into your life. And part of loving yourself is finding yourself, is what Spirit's saying. It's like that. It's so that you can again be vulnerable, and that's being open to healing your faults is a true strength. Embrace your authenticity. So, like, yeah, it's part of healing. It's part of faults is not like that you were shady, but the way that you view yourself, the way you're living, it's like look at things from a different perspective, that you're not weak, you're actually strong. That acknowledge what you've overcome, and walk from that level of consciousness that you were neglected. You didn't have that love. You didn't have that support. So yes, you attracted that because you too didn't know your worth. But look how strong you are. Choose to look at it from a different perspective. Not that, oh, I'm deserving of it, but that all experience is good and bad, or what helps you again grow, helps you evolve. And you needed to do that. Now go into uncharted waters where, you discover new aspects of your life, who you are, and life just in general, so that you can be authentic, so that you can live authentically, boldly, and unafraid and unapologetically to be yourself, that you can live out loud, so you can attract, you know, somebody that really aligns with your heart. Someone that's going to, like, again, when you align your actions with your heart's true desires, by following your passion, you don't have a problem attracting passion. When you love yourself and you live authentically and true, that's what you're saying. I love myself. Then again, you attract someone that doesn't have a problem loving you, because they also love themselves, and they don't want to be with somebody that they wouldn't, honor, because again, they love themselves. So it's part of being able to envision brighter horizons and seeing these better things actually manifest within your life. You had to go through this kind of initiation and then live true to yourself. Find yourself, love yourself, live boldly. Everything will happen in divine time. This was a karmic test. That's why, and in the end, this person is like, yeah, you're the one that got away. But I'm not going to admit that to myself right now, because, hey, I can't admit anything because I would die. This person, like, can't really, let you in. They don't want to process everything that they need to do to process in order to heal. And that's what the problem is. It's like, this is a person that's fragmented. So it's like, yeah, I have feelings for you, but I'd rather hide behind the illusion. And that means that they're still in their ego. And so Spirit says, yeah, this is all about creation for you. Have the power to direct your life with a constructive attitude. Create what is best for your soul. Firmly believe that you can transform and improve your inner and outer worlds by turning every thought into an affirmation and action, that you act in the image of God and bring light into your life. So Spirit's saying it's like, it's about you creating a better life for yourself, not recreating the same thing that you grew up with, to be with someone that, what is going to neglect you, someone that's going to make you isolate you and neglect you, and to the point that you have to detach and dissociate and live in your imagination and live in your brain in order to survive. No, Spirit says is discipline yourself by becoming yourself. And sometimes there's always learning curves when it comes to finding yourself and becoming yourself. And so we really have to be grounded, and we really have to be dedicated, and to, show up for ourselves, is what Spirit says. And so children that don't get that love and that nurturing because the parent is preoccupied or maybe with their own trauma, right? I mean, our parents were growing up the same time that we were, and they had their issues and their problems from how they grew up and the environments that they grew up in. So it's not a blame game, but Spirit says you get the story of who you think you are, then there's a real story of who you truly are, so that you learn that there's no separation between you and your creator. But before you were living that narrative, and because you were living that narrative, you're not going to attract a person that's going to be healthy, and you're going to relive your attachment style, which was to be neglected. And no one has time for that. Spirit says it's about you, like knowing your own worth. And we leave off with some cards from the empowerment deck, which Spirit says now it's about you enjoying life. It's eternal, and don't deprive yourself of the simple pleasures in life to pursuit of your goals. That part of the reason why are you working and working and working and working and trying and becoming impatient. Spirit saying it's not going to go faster. It's not going to go faster. And everything happens in divine time. So again, become balance. That's really what it is. It's like it's okay to say no, is what Spirit's saying. Like it's okay, regardless that this person, oh, they want to come into your life, they don't want to come into your life. It's like, or and for anybody, you're not the people pleaser. Really, Spirit saying it's time that you have to be willing to stand alone, that those who are meant to stand with you will remain. But it's also a clearing as you heal and evolve by finding yourself and pouring into yourself. The same people that, are surrounded by you now, a lot of times won't stay in your life because you're not on a vibration that's high. You're raising your vibration. You had to go through this experience to kind of get initiated. Now, Spirit's saying, now go out into the world and find yourself and have a love affair with yourself and do that. And then the right people are going to come into your life. And then you're able to you're not alone anymore. But there's always a space between what you reap and what you sow. So again, you were confronted with a karmic test. You could either be with this person or be alone. And Spirit says you did the right thing by being alone because you just would have lived the same thing that you lived in your childhood with this person. So you learn the karmic lesson. And that's really what this was about. It's that we live the same karmic themes over and over and over again until we learn. And this was about you learning to love yourself, you choosing you, you becoming you, you betting on you. And Spirit says, doing what was best for your own soul. All right, Scorpio, I'm going to go. You let me know how you resonated. And, do me a favor. If you like this video, hype it for me. It would really make my day. And that hyping it means that you get to share the video. All right. Let me know what you think and what your thoughts are. And until next time, be true to you. I'll talk to you guys later. Love you. Bye.